Hey lovelies, I am back to talk about my favorite 2024 BL drama watches, and this will be part 2. Let's get into it with number 1, Bad Guy My Boss. If you know me, I like messy, I like ratchet, and Bad Guy My Boss fits all of that. Fits all of the boxes with that. I will genuinely say Bad Guy My Boss and My Stand-In, my 2 favorite BL dramas of 2024 because of how messy and ridiculous it is. I love trying to explain the plot line to my non-BL friends because they just look at me like I'm insane. So let me share with you guys, in case you didn't watch Bad Guy My Boss. Bad Guy My Boss is a work office romance. You've got Pat, who is this super capable executive assistant, like Pat, who is like a Thailand guy, and he's in love with his mixed race boss named Elise. However, given their status, Pat can only keep his feelings secret, trying to maintain their relationship as boss and assistant. Even though Pat has set a boundary, Elise does not make it easy for him. So let me just say, this is one of those shows where they're making it sound like people in this drama have ethics. There are none. I even love how the description says Pat can only keep his feelings a secret, trying to maintain their relationship as boss's assistant. His boss, Elise, not interested in that. Elise been ready to tap. Been ready to tap that ass. And Pat, as the show goes on, you just see how little he is fighting against this man, and I don't blame him, right? Like, he's the setup is you're working day in and day out, getting paid well. This man is handsome, he's rich, he's your boss, you work hand in hand with him, he trusts you, you trust him. The problem is he's a male whore. Like, that right there is the biggest conflict outside of like work with Pat and Elise, is that Elise is a whore. Like, Elise will literally tell Pat, like, can you schedule my booty call and make sure you pick me up after? But of course, Pat is his assistant, but he's also a person with feelings. Like, how, as the show starts, even though they're not together yet, Elise knows that Pat has a thing for him and continues to try and push his buttons by, like, making him jealous. Like, and all, in my opinion, all the jealousy is doing is hurting his feelings. But obviously, it's a romantic comedy, dramedy. It's tropey, but it works so well. You end up eventually seeing Pat fall for this man, and Pat, every other episode, let me be correct, is Pat being like, I'm not gonna listen to you. You can't cross my boundaries. Leave my house. And then, like, the next episode, they're banging again. So halfway into this, I realized, like, that Pat is that friend who says they want better for themselves, but they absolutely do not want better for themselves. They also have these side characters. They have this side couple that I would absolutely check them out in their own drama, and they were even more messy than Pat and Elise, and that was Taranai and Fei Long. Like, toxic to the T. And Fei Long basically stole Elise's ex-boyfriend and now has him in some sort of weird, your brother's in jail and he might die if you don't stay with me. Oh, are you still thinking about your ex? Oh, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, this is toxic and I love it. And it's well produced. Everybody's in suits because, again, it's an office drama. And I enjoyed it in all of the ways that I could enjoy something trashy and fun and silly and stupid and dramatic. You've also got a side business plotline around Elise's cousin, who just hates his guts and wants to embezzle money from the company, and Elise will not let him do that. And it's all coupled together. All elements make this work. So absolutely check out Bad Guy My Boss if you like a little toxic in your romance, if you like a little danger, a little stupidity, a little romance, people looking good, people running away to like beach spots. You'll love this. And I'm kind of sad it's got a 6.8 on my drama list because I actually really enjoyed this show. So check it out for yourself and let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, next up, This Love Doesn't Have Long Beans. You heard that right. That's the title of a BL drama that came out in 2024. This Love Doesn't Have Long Beans. I ignored this show for as long as I could because I was just like, what is this title? This is doing a lot. I'm not following. Like I was stuck honestly on the titling of this show without ever seeing a trailer because I was just like, what do you mean? So, and I think eventually I had a day where there was nothing for me to watch, and I was like, fine, let me press this stupid nonsense. Also, this is a partnership, like a partner couple. These two actors were in Pit Babe, which I really loved. I enjoyed Pit Babe, but for me, the acting on all of the like outside of the main lead was kind of weak, and these two were part of that weakness, and I was like, but they can act. Maybe just too many people in Pit Babe when it was being directed, and you just focus all your talent on the leads. That might be it. Because I watched This Love Doesn't Have Long Beans, and you're like, what is that about? Well, obviously, it's about a chef. It's about people who cook. Because why else would the title have long beans? Like, what are we doing? We've got Pond playing Plawan, and we've got we've got Salud playing Ob. And Ob is basically like this guy who owns a restaurant. He, for some reason, makes this special meal of his without long beans. Like that is his thing. Plawan is sort of like he's a model. He doesn't really have good jobs, kind of freeloads off his friend. Good guy. He is hired by a business competitor to enter this competition that Chef Ob has enacted. Basically, he's like, whoever wins this competition will get my restaurant. And I was like, this has so many. Let me see this contract. What do you mean someone's going to get your restaurant if they win a competition? Can they afford to keep your restaurant? Are they going to have to, are you still paying for staff or are they paying for staff? But that's my brain, right? That's how my brain works. That's not how TV shows work, because at the end of the day, it's you win this competition, you win my restaurant. During the course of the episodes, Ob falls for Plawan. Mind you, Plawan is being shady because someone has paid him to win this restaurant on their behalf because they want something to do with the property. And I was surprised at how much this got out of me in terms of emotion. I went in like, this is going to be meh, not like side-eyeing it completely. But the actors in this show did a really good job in bringing the complexity of this relationship to life. We all have had jobs where, if I always say, don't shit where you eat. But I've known people who have had relationships through the workplace and sort of the dynamics that lead to that, right? There are certain jobs that are extremely niche that kind of make sense that if you're only around those people, you also only date those people. So chefs dating chefs makes sense. The thing I enjoyed about the show that made it feel real is the extra cast of characters who are in this competition along with Plawan trying to win this restaurant. You've got current employees, people's feelings get tangled, the duplicity that Plawan is going through because he is catching feelings for the chef while also conspiring to take his, even though it's being offered, his restaurant away from him, not for himself, but for like a company. We also have as secondary couples, we have Mr. Meadows, and Mr. Meadows is the person paying Plawan to try and steal this restaurant or win this restaurant on this behalf, and JJ, who is a friend of Plawan, and their love story, because it's basically like a social home health aide, like a nurse type character from JJ, and Metas plays this very rich, cold-hearted businessman. I'm not gonna lie, the actor who plays Plawan, he has like the doofiest haircut ever. That does not equal the range of talent he has when it comes to shooting a sex scene, because again, he looks like such a doofus, and then next thing you know, my dude will just be spread eagle like on any surface, and it's just like, wow. But it's a very heartwarming story outside of the secrets and lies between Plawan and Oab. altogether it's a feel good love story. Like they will overcome whatever. The rich man will learn and have a heart by the end of it. So yeah, if you also get to see a lot of yummy food because it's a chef show. So if you are a fan of food and BL dramas, this is the show for you. Next up, this is the show that if I have to like do another rewatch to be certain, but this might on the low be my favorite drama, my favorite BL drama for 2024, and that is My Stand-In. Because what do you mean this is an entire plot around somebody's shoulders? Like that is literally not literally the plot, but that is the plot of this show. Let's get into it. Okay, so what's My Standing all about? You've got Joe, he's a stuntman, that's his job. Then you've got Ming, who comes into his life, and he's sort of a business guy. Family has money, all of that, and he and Joe end up forming like a sexual relationship, except Joe doesn't know that Ming is using him as a replacement for this other actor that he likes who's currently engaged to his sister. You heard me right. Ming is in a relationship with a stuntman who has shoulders that look like his future brother-in-law. So, and you would think that alone would just be like, what are we doing? The fact is, that's not even the peak of the show. The peak of the show is that Joe takes a job after he gets fired from his main one because Ming and Tong are messy. And this job that he takes leads to him dying and reincarnating in the body of someone else. This someone else that he comes back to life in, he takes over his life. He's like, oh, you've got a mom. I've always wanted a mom. Perfect. And he's like, I need a job, so I guess I'll go back to my old company. He should not have, because that's where he runs into Ming again. And Ming sees his shoulder in this entirely new body, and he's like, I like them shoulders. Something seems really familiar about these set of shoulders. It is just this entire game. Well, it's not even a game. It's a sad, sad set of circumstances where Ming then enters into another relationship with Joe in a new body. Joe is secretive about who he is. He doesn't, he's not like, hey, I'm your like dead reincarnated lover, but there are things about Joe that seem very familiar to Ming. And of course, the entire 12 episodes, the truth will have to come out, but it's sort of like, how do they reconnect? How does this relationship change? How does like the external factors within this relationship going to affect them eventually? And also, Ming is a terrible person / terribly stubborn person. He don't listen. He's very cunning, he's manipulative, and Joe knows all of this, but still kind of goes along with it because love. Because he likes him despite himself. He likes Ming despite this man leading him to his death. It's a connection that he can't sever. So yeah, it's a really good show. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Like I was engrossed, like just totally and completely. And the fact that these characters were so flawed added to them feeling more human. Now, it's a tough plot line to hit, and I think they gave it a lot of respect. They did this plot with a straight face, because imagine what I've described and now imagine a production putting it all together at a high level, in my opinion. Now, of course, this is from the actor Up production line. If you have seen him before, you will have seen him in Step by Step. He was also in another show that I really liked, My Lovely Writer, not My Lovely Writer. I really enjoyed this drama. It was really good. It was really messy, but I also think really well acted. Like sometimes the premise of a show can be extremely silly, but if you have good actors and just playing it straight, you can come out with something exciting and entertaining, and that was My Standing for me. And the final BL drama I'm going to be talking about this episode is a Japanese drama. Surprisingly, I watch a lot of Japanese dramas, Japanese BL dramas as well, even though I don't talk about them often. And this one is titled Love is Better a Long Time Around. Japanese title, Koi wo Suri Naranidome ka Choto. And this is a young love come to adulthood love archetype love story. You've got business editor Miyata Hakihiro who asks a successful professor Iwanaga to write a column for his magazine. When they meet, Miyata realizes that like Iwanaga was his first love in high school, and this just unleashes the floodgates of memory. And this show does a really good job in its flashbacks because the actors that they use as the younger version of the main cast are so well. They're very well. They can act. They can act is what I mean to say. The main issue in this is that Miyata was broken up with by Iwanaga, or something happened in their past where again they had a very like deep young love, but something happened that separated them, obviously, because it's now years later, and we get to see what happened from both of their perspective. Also have them speak in a very adult way regarding like, yeah, you were my all, but that doesn't mean going forward you have to still be. And the actor who plays Miyata, I love his sass. He is just sassy from beginning to end, where he still feels the pull towards Iwanaga, but he is fighting it with every sense of his being. You have this other character called Shiriashi, he plays Iwanaga's like assistant TA that is they have had sex and it is messy, and he's all up in his boss's slash ex-lover's business, so that creates a little bit of sort of like spice conflict, but not really, because everybody's grown even though they try to be petty. And just like the title says, love is better a long time around. It is about second chances in love. It is about, oh, that person, are you still that person that you were when you were with them? Can you forgive? Can you believe them? Like, whatever reason it didn't work out the first time, are you able to move beyond that? I really love how Japanese BL dramas have this unique knack for taking it's like a single pearl of an adult issue and creating drama out of it. And it's well acted, it's well paired. The story is so good. The story is very human. The way the characters express their emotions is very human. Because what do you mean you hurt my feelings and now you want to get back together? What do you not know how that broke me? So again, not every situation in real life gives you an opportunity for closure. Do not expect it. But with this show, it's also, can we move past it? Great chemistry between the actors. I really enjoyed it. I love the pace of it, and just the way they were able to bring these characters to life. This is also highly recommend from me to you guys. So that's all I've got for part 2. I'm sure I'll be back to talk about other dramas. There's 2 that I just finished, or not that I just finished, but 2 that I'm going to be talking about, especially Japanese. One is Our Youth. The other is My Cosmetics Lover. I'm going to be doing a separate video on that. Hopefully you guys come back for that. But yeah, this is all I've got for you guys. These were my favorite 2024 watches, and I hope they weren't all a little too wonky. I enjoy them. Everybody likes different things. It's okay. If you liked any of them, let me know in the comments, leave a like, all that good stuff. But yeah, these have been my 2024 BL dramas that I enjoyed, and I hope you guys have enjoyed me talking about them. Bye.